Welcome back, Midnight viewers, to Father Malone's Weekly Roundup. I think I've earned back that title. Been pretty consistent here. And I released a bonus Patreon episode, and that was supposed to be in place of this episode because I had no intention of recording this episode, but then I found that I just couldn't stay away. Also not staying away, I'm Father Malone, by the way, is Miss Ripley Jean. Ever since we watched Streets of Fire, she's obsessed with the shakuhachi flute. Not for the sound, but for its usefulness as a weapon. That's a true fact. Say hi to the folks, Miss Ripley. What are you doing? You're eating the microphone. Do I not feed you enough? You know I hand make her meals. I'm not even smart enough to do it in advance, like meal prep. Every afternoon I'm cooking a protein, cutting up vegetables. You eat better than me. Leave the microphone alone. I was going to bail this week because, once again, I didn't really have any new entertainments for you, but I have been consuming quite a bit of entertainment and entertainment information. I tried to watch Dust Bunny, the new flick from Hannibal and Star Trek Discovery creator Bryan Fuller. It's being advertised as The Professional meets Drop Dead Fred. Anytime there's an imaginary anything, it gets compared to Drop Dead Fred. This ain't that. Though it is definitely a bald-faced rip on Leon, or The Professional, with Hannibal himself, Mads Mikkelsen, subbing in for Jean Reno. But the film it's mashed up with isn't Drop Dead Fred, it's Amélie. Maybe it's the French connection, but what we have is a young girl who hires a hitman who happens to live in her building to kill the monster that lives under her bed. Actually, it's under the floor, and if you step on the floor, it comes for you like a parquet floor shark.
What did you see?
A monster. Under my bed.
What do your parents think about monsters? Do they believe in them?
Did you know? Is that enough to kill a monster?
What makes you think I kill monsters?
You seem like you killed all it thinks.
You believe in monsters?
You're a monster. She believe in you.
A monster didn't need your parents. Those were men that came to kill me. Why would a monster eat your family? You seen something you shouldn't have seen?
I know it's real.
You think you know?
You think you know.
Her being here won't stop them. They will go right through her. You seem triggered. You got the girl?
I got the girl.
It's also got Sigourney Weaver, who is great here. Sprightly and effervescent, not the usual Sigourney qualities. Like I said, the Amélie comparison is shocking. This is a fantasy version of New York where Asian gangs fight from beneath ornamental dragon costumes. You know, the kind at New Year that has 17 guys for each of the dragon segments. And of course, that fight takes place while seemingly 1,000 Roman candles are spraying flaming color in all directions. To be fair, the art direction is top-notch, as is the cinematography, as is the direction itself. It's this script. I kept asking, who is this movie for during the first 30 minutes? And when I finally decided it was for the same audience that loved Time Bandits the most, actual kids, the actual age of the protagonist on screen, that was about the time that a bunch of assassins started showing up and getting taken out in really brutal ways. By the time Mads is teaching the little girl how to dismember a corpse for disposal, I was once again hit with the question, who is this movie for? And then there was a musical sequence at a church where a phalanx of brightly colored nuns sing the Our Father as if it were meant to be sung. And then, after a full-on musical number, the little girl protagonist runs away with the collection plate, grinning like an idiot while it's happening. And then it clicked. Oh, Bryan Fuller made this for himself. These are his childhood fantasies. And fuck any audience's connection to them. Which is kind of noble, honestly. But the movie's a fucking mess. Though at least it's out of his system. Now get going on that Christine remake. Mike Flanagan shouldn't be the only one steering the SS Stephen King. Did you see he's remaking The Exorcist? Or its reboot, maybe a hard start, whatever the fuck it is. Didn't we just do that? Wasn't there just a remake? Weren't there 2 seasons of a television series before that? And then competing prequel movies? Who is clamoring for more Exorcist? I'm serious. Let me know if it's you. FatherMalone71@gmail.com. It's in the show notes. In audiobook news, though it's really more of an audio drama, there's a recording of Glengarry Glen Ross with Joe Mantegna as Ricky Roma and Richard Dreyfuss as Shelley Levine. The whole cast is bangers, and it's great to hear the dialogue with everything stripped away, even a book in your hand, especially when it's being performed by pros. Mamet sounds natural while being the most unnatural vocal pattern of all time. Ask William Shakespeare. They both use iambic pentameter. It's maddening to wrap your brain around at times, but man, it sounds sweet. I'm only a couple of chapters into Garth Marenghi's Terror Tome, read by the author. Very funny so far. I'm taking it slow as to savor it. Books read in the past week. The 30 Rock book, Inside the Iconic Show from Blurg to EGOT, by Mike Rowe. It covers the series from its conception right through to the finale, and is one of those examinations that seems genuinely balanced in its assessment of the cast and crew and situations, and the comedy they ended up making. It's quick to praise those genuine milestones, and is equally quick to shout down the casual use of blackface, multiple times. But the book is at its best when it's got the crew of 30 Rock channeling their negativity in a positive way. Of particularly delicious interest are the chapters dealing with this fledgling 30-minute sitcom examining the day-to-day operations of a live TV variety show, finding itself in the shadow of an hour-long prestige drama juggernaut, chronicling the day-to-day operations of a live TV variety show, but on the West Coast. That show was Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, Laugh Riot Aaron Sorkin's attempt to approximate a West Coast analog of Saturday Night Live. And not only was 30 Rock just having to deal with that show's existence, it was on the same network. NBC, fucking desperate for the next West Wing, rolled out the checkbooks to pay for what everyone could see was a stinker, in the hopes that goodwill will keep Sorkin loyal to the peacock. 30 Rock ran for 7 seasons. I love an underdog, don't you? I also blazed through Eric Idle's Spamalot Diaries. I think the title says it all there. It was a delight. Eric Idle and Terry Gilliam were the 2 solo members of Monty Python. Cleese had Chapman, Palin had Jones. Well, Gillian had himself, really. So really, he's the only solo member of Monty Python. In that way, I think he developed a stronger individual voice while he was still in Python, and that kept him ahead of everyone else creatively. And he comes off just as sweet as he's always seemed. And, I should note, still razor sharp. And while I haven't gotten to it yet, sitting on my nightstand is Seriously Silly, The Life of Terry Jones by Robert Ross. I swear, I've not got an upcoming Python fest. Or do I? I love Eric Idle. I love all the Pythons. But I really love Terry Jones. The wackiest, most out-there characters, all coming from a slight, quiet, and for all I've seen and heard so far, completely charming and decent human being. Plus he's Welsh. Always a bonus. Okay, so branded new entertainment is out this week. I didn't really see anything I like, which leaves the news. I don't do this segment enough to remember where I saved the jingle, so imagine some funny music right here. Was anyone expecting a television series based on The Burbs? I'd say it's happening, but it happened. It starts up in a couple of weeks. That's February 2026, in case you're listening in the future and going, when was this episode released? How is the future, by the way? Are you enjoying it? Do you long for a past you never knew? The Burbs. They even copied the poster with Keke Palmer out there with a spatula in one hand and a garden hose in the other. The trailer is out there if you want a look. Like I said, Keke Palmer is taking the Ray Patterson Tom Hanks role here, though the twist is they are the new neighbors. At least that's what I thought the twist was, which is contemporary and interesting. And then the Klopeks also move into the neighborhood, so who knows what they're trying to say? But one thing seems sure, the world is waking up to Joe Dante. They just announced a new Gremlins film. We're getting The Burbs now. Can a small soldiers be far behind? Stay tuned. Speaking of live-action playthings, that God of War TV series is moving forward. Based on the PlayStation game, pretty stoked now that they've announced who's playing Kratos. Fucking Ryan Hurst. Name ring a bell? He was Opie on Sons of Anarchy. What a fucking heartbreaker that was. And I'd like to vainly point out that when I had long natural hair and a full beard, more than a few people mistook me for that guy. I'm 6'3" and I used to be really beefy. I swear this happened. It's not just wish fulfillment. Anyway, I love Ryan Hurst. Talk about a dude with range. Everyone knows him as the burly, soft-spoken brute, but check him out in Saving Private Ryan. Right after they've taken the beach at Normandy, they're asking around about Ryan's whereabouts, and there's one soldier who had a grenade go off right next to my ears. No, James Ryan. Yeah, that's him. And if you want to see a total transformation, check out the Coen brothers film The Lady Killers. He was Lump, the dumb-as-a-bag-of-hammers football player. No word yet on who's writing and directing God of War, but I hope they film it immediately and beat the Odyssey to theaters and put that flick to shame. What new lessons have you for us, Christopher Nolan? Can you come down off your throne made of IMAX film stock and bestow on us what a sword and sandal epic should really be? Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down as head of Lucasfilm. Good. Not because I think she was doing a bad job. She was doing as well as any studio head, trust me. But good because now she won't have to deal with these toxic fucking cocksuckers that are Star Wars fans these days. Let's pretend the prequels don't exist, right? Everyone crowing about the latest development in studio head musical chairs. In fact, everything under Lucas himself was A1 gold. Remember those Ewok movies? Caravan of Courage and the fucking Ewok Adventure, or those cartoon series, Ewoks and Droids. Bet you've got them in heavy rotation on your Plex server. Lucas made 6 movies. 2 are great. The rest vary in quality, very wildly in some cases. Now here's where I'm going to break with most fandom. I think The Last Jedi is fucking great. So was Rogue One, and that's 2 great movies. Now, clearly, in feature films, Lucas has the upper hand. I like the prequels, while recognizing that mile-wide missed opportunities and colossal blunders abound. But whatever your opinion of those movies are, nothing sinks to the depths of Rise of the Skywalker. Now, let's take a look at the attendant media, the peripherals. Would you compare any Star Wars television prior to The Mandalorian as quality as The Mandalorian? And can anyone with a fucking straight face tell me that Andor isn't the most important piece of Star Wars since The Empire Strikes Back? Search your feelings. You know it to be true. So those movies and those series were all under the horrible nightmare reign of Kathleen Kennedy. To be fair, there were some horrible clunkers, like the back half of Boba Fett and the entirety of Ahsoka. Oh, who's running that show? Oh, right, the same one who hijacked that Mandalorian episode to introduce her in live action. That's cowboy hat himself, Dave Filoni, the new president of Lucasfilm. He is a beloved fan favorite. And just like when the current administration got voted in, my thought was, you'll finally have yourselves to blame. Though in the current situation, they just keep blaming everyone else, so it should stand to reason that whatever clunkers come down the pike now in the form of Star Wars, they'll still blame Kathleen Kennedy. Every time I see that cowboy hat, I think of the line Paul Winfield's General Casey in Mars Attacks gives to his wife as he's headed to meet the Martians as Earth's ambassador. Ain't that great? Oh, it's a hell of an honor. But didn't I always tell you, honey? If I just stayed in place and never spoke up, good things are bound to happen. In other space news, I told myself I was not going to talk any more Star Trek on the Roundup. We've got Trek Fest going on, and now HP and I are working on these away mission episodes, so there's no need for more, but I got Star Trek coming out of my pores lately, so sorry, Charlie, them's the breaks. I love Starfleet Academy. Do you hear? And what's that sound? Holy fuck, it's Star Trek fans agreeing with me. They actually seem to like it too. By the time that I'm recording this, I've seen the first 2 episodes only, so as such, I can't really speak to the characters' depths or their potential relationships to one another as the show progresses, but I've seen enough to know they'd have to stumble pretty fucking dramatically to deter me from finishing out the season.
Caleb.
What's that one? Right there. Right there.
One day, when we have our own ship,
We are going to go visit.
first, that's right.
Bye-bye, Mommy!
I'm so sorry.
You hold on to how much you hate me right now, kid. It'll keep you warm at night.
Find him!
Portal breach.
Caleb, I've been looking for you every single day for the last 15 years. Come with me. to Starfleet Academy. The Federation will help you find your mother.
That thing is taking us to the school?
That is the school.
Being a cadet in Starfleet Academy means being open to the people around you.
I understand. Sometimes I feel invisible, but mostly awkward.
Let's go! Show me you're worthy of this uniform!
I want to be captain. I need to be captain.
My family, you're either the center of the universe or you're nothing.
A warrior does not let a friend face danger alone.
I've spent my whole life getting away from stuff, letting someone in. It's hard.
If I lose control, I can hurt people.
Doesn't scare me.
I'll owe you something. It is coming with a big red bow just for you.
Is anybody listening?
Man, why does everything have to be a full-on lesson in this place?
Because it's a school, Caleb. It's time for you to stop telling the story. Be a part of it.
Look, it's not for me, this show. This is most definitely pitched to a younger demographic than cranky old man. If you'd seen any of the ads, it was basically being pitched as a CW teen drama with photon torpedoes. And it could have gone that way so fucking easily. Any CW drama to me always felt like it was for teens by teens. By teens who'd had a little learning. The dialogue was always stilted, and the situations were just recycled from other, better soap operas. So that's just not a real possibility, it's a proven formula. And yet, Starfleet Academy has been pretty deft in its storytelling thus far, getting us used to a fuck ton of characters and environments in just a scant couple of hours. Gone are the days of 5 speaking roles and 4 rickety sets in a studio off Melrose. The scale of this show is rather staggering. Given I've been watching all the feature films again, I was blown away at how, even as masterful as some of those effects still appear in those films, they cannot hold a candle to any random scene in this series. I'm not even talking about ship-to-ship battle in deep space, although we do get one and it's pretty fucking glorious. I'm talking about what must be dozens and dozens of settings that are either completely digital or digital extensions of existing locations. I don't want to comment too much on the cadets themselves. The actors all seem very capable, but it's too early to really cotton on to any of them. That ball's in the writer's court, and I'm sure there are plenty of standalone and separate away team scenarios in the future. But the adult cast, the Starfleet proper and not Starfleet, are extremely well represented. The actors of the caliber they've chosen bring their gravitas to their roles. I don't need a standalone flashback to tell me what kind of an officer Holly Hunter's Captain Ake is. I just need to see the way she chooses to sit in the captain's chair. Cozy. The captain's chair for the first time seems comfortable. Just one of a million perfect choices from that tiny powerhouse. It was Hunter's name that continued to reverberate in my head any time I saw a bit of preview footage that seemed a little bit hinky. Holly fucking Hunter is in it. How bad could it be? Actually, it could be Sequest DSV. Anyone remember that misbegotten Submariner snooze fest? They've got Roy Scheider. How bad could it be? Real fucking bad. So there were no guarantees, and then they announced the series villain would be Nus Braka, a half-Klingon, half-Tellarite pirate played by Paul Giamatti. And yes, he's fucking excellent. A big old trekker, that fella, and it shows. And for a character without any known empire behind him, he is remarkably capable in the face of Starfleet. Other notable characters, we've got Lur Thok, Ake's first officer. She's half Klingon, half Jem'Hadar. What a fucking combination. And she's just as ornery as you'd hope, and I love her. But wait a second, there are no female Jem'Hadar. Point of order. Shut up, nerd. Captain Kirk met a mechanical god while wearing pajamas. Remember that. And it's not like they're gonna avoid that conversation. My God. Any deviation that isn't immediately addressed and they start foaming at the mouth. There has been some backlash to the series, but let's face it, it's because of the diversity on the show. Not just the hybrids that are everywhere, half Klingon this, half Betazoid that, but queer-identifying characters and multi-heritage characters. This show's gone all the fucking way out to be the most inclusive show in the Star Trek canon. And more than that, it is easily the most optimistic of the bunch, bar none. Like it or not, this is the Star Trek universe that Gene Roddenberry kept ranting about all those years. This is Starfleet as an organization bent on exploration and unification, and I'm all in. They do a pretty good job of explaining all the backstory through exposition, but you ought to know this does take place in the Kurtzman Star Trek universe. More specifically, this could be a sequel series to Discovery, and that series ended in the 32nd century. So it's unlikely anyone from Voyager or DS9 will be dropping by anytime soon, and that future is taking place after an event called the Burn. All the dilithium in the galaxy went inert at once, causing every warp core to detonate. So faster-than-light travel became very scarce, Starfleet was decimated, and the Federation was in tatters. That event was in 3069, and Starfleet Academy is 3191, so this is 130 years later. As such, the ships are a bit different than we're used to, specifically the Athena, which doubles as both ship and the Academy itself. When I heard that, I thought, oh, that's clever. They can just zip around the galaxy. It's basically Star Trek with a curriculum. I was unprepared for the Athena. Not only as a starship, but it fucking transforms. The nacelles, they're flat, aren't actually physically connected. It's all some technomagnetism going on. And so the ship itself just leaves them in space dock, and then the rest of the ship descends to San Francisco and lands and becomes a whole other configuration. It becomes the campus. It's really remarkable. The first time in a long time I've been smitten with a ship on Star Trek. Even with the time jump and the new ships and uniforms and alien races, yes, there are some new ones, the series does maintain a bit of continuity in that one of the science professors is the Doctor from Voyager and Prodigy and that one Next Generation movie. Still played by Robert Picardo, though his program has aged himself to reflect how distinguished he's become. And he demonstrates a technological innovation worthy of the usual forward futurism that goes into Trek. At one point, a group of cadets are in a heated argument which is about to come to blows. The Doctor appears and announces that their stress levels have suddenly spiked off the charts and has arrived to determine the cause. Way too often, sci-fi is the laziest of genres, just forgetting basic tech that we have now. Of course they'd monitor everyone on the ship's vitals. And I was particularly taken with that quick-change energy matrix thingy. One of the cadets announces they're not going to cut their hair and they're not going to wear a Starfleet uniform. And then they step through this force field and zippity-zap, hair is cut, clothing is regulation fabulous. Speaking of regime changes, Alex Kurtzman, the Dave Filoni of the Federation, has his contract up at the end of this year, so we might be going in a whole new direction sooner than later with Star Trek, which I must admit, after Strange New Worlds and now this, is kind of a drag. But then again, that guy sucks, and those shows succeed in spite of him. We'll see. No word yet on what the slavering brain trust at Paramount have decided, but Star Trek will always rise. The worst that can happen is they start pulling different casts from different series together into some kind of Star Trek supergroup. All right, that is going to do it for this week's Roundup. On Friday, we have a brand new Hammer House of Horror, and the week after that, it is Star Trek Generations. Both of those are available right now on the Patreon channel, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I put out a special Patreon exclusive for the main feed so everyone can listen to it. That is part of our Moranis Fest, where HP and I are taking a look at the 1984 classic? Yeah, that's right, classic. Streets of Fire, Walter Hill, Diane Lane, Nowhere Fast. You can hear that right now in the regular feed. Everything else is on the Patreon channel. That is patreon.com/FatherMalone, fathermalone71@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me and have me answer you here on the air. Until next time, everybody, try to enjoy the daylight.
Feelings, say how you feel. Apples, you taste good. Trees, you give us wood. Grandma,
I am gay.
Bridge.
You turn me on in a sexual way.
Spaghetti, You're my favourite food.
A dog and sunglasses.
You're a real cool dude.
Police.
I killed a man.
Son.
Your father's dad.
Wife.
I've been to a whore.